Hey, good morning. Early morning, come out things, ladies and gentlemen. I hope this episode reaches you in the best of health. You're having a peaceful Sunday, and that this Sunday is, well, happy and bright for you and your family, loved ones. No, I don't know if I think a little different from everyone else, but if you guys remember in the news the other day, there was a issue of a girl that was found dead in St. Thomas. Then lately they came back and said that this lady had not been identified. No, it's strange because if this person was Barbadian, obviously they would have relatives who by now would miss them, friends who they associate with. Nobody lives like a hermit that way. So it isn't to say the person was living in up in the hills or in the bush or something like that. And if they are non-national, as everything is alluding to, where were they staying? I mean, if they had to be staying somewhere, they had to have luggage. They had to be somewhere, so somebody would have to miss them. It doesn't happen just like that, where somebody just appears and nobody knows about them, nobody's identified them. Somebody had to have missed them. Unless, unless there is some kind of human trafficking ongoing in Barbados. Because that would mean then that obviously the person came in, maybe not through the legal procedure, through the ports of entry, and they're here or we're here doing something where they were not open to society, so to speak. I mean, not one person you meet all these weeks, and nobody has come forward to say they miss this young girl. Nobody's come to identify the body. Nobody is saying, well, they miss seeing such and such a person. Something is wrong. Something is definitely very, very wrong. And this leads me, this is my opinion, to believe that there's human trafficking going on in Barbados. Because things like this don't just happen. If it was a Bajan, somebody would have come forward ever since. Even if it's a non-national. All right, somebody, they had to be staying somewhere. They had to be affiliated with some group of people. They had to be working somewhere or something. You understand? But with this one, this instance is strange. It's absurdly strange. Anyway, I leave that for you to think about. Next, I want to talk about freedom of speech. In Barbados, we find ourselves where under this present administration, and sometimes in previous administrations of this same similar nature, you find where people were censored for speaking, censored for singing certain songs, etc. And I'm seeing that being done right now as we speak. I've seen the announcer being sent on 3 weeks paid leave because of a song he sang at the Piccadilly Crop finals. Well, the song he sang, period, because it was banned from the network he was working at. Yet they still played it during the finals. So I don't understand the contradiction in that. But it seems as if they took it to heart. That network themselves took it to heart. Well, the person sang about did not even, notice it. Said it was a good song. The fact that he went on a certain show as the announcer had nothing whatsoever to do with his job title. You understand? He was specific when he said, I'm coming on as the announcer. So whatever he did as the announcer, which differentiates between his job title, you understand, and his Calypsonian persona. Why is he now being castigated? You understand? By the network. It means that we have to be watch what's happening, because some people behind the scenes are pushing this, Because when we see the song and the what was said about it, we know that Miss Roberts is only the face of the NCF. She's not the real person behind the scenes. It carries a board, and it carries somebody bigger up who really calls the shots. So it looks to me as if these people have taken offense at what has happened. Also, I want to go into what is happening at the geriatric hospital now, where 6 nurses, for speaking out during about the scabies at that particular institution, are now being transferred, relocated, because of their taking a stand, because of speaking up for your rights, because of speaking up for your safety and your health. People personally can take offense and victimize these people. You can imagine a person living in St. Michael having now to travel to St. Lucie to work. Not only that, but some of them, I understand, are doing studies on evenings at BCC. So how will they get from St. Lucie or St. Philip to get back to BCC in time to do it, to be able to do the studies? This is personal victimization. You understand? And I mean, we all know who the person is behind it. You understand? And I believe it's a conflict of interest when we have people working in government affiliating or having relations with people working in certain institutions. And they know what I'm talking about. The persons that are hearing this know what I'm talking about. Some of these people were given the transfer letters in writing. Some were told by word of mouth. Some saw it when they looked on the roster. But this is not good, where we cannot speak about things that affect us, and we have to be careful what we say. This is something that is happening in Barbados consistently now in these times. And we as Barbadians need to unify. We need seriously to unify here, because things are happening around us, and we're piece by piece eroding our freedoms and our rights and our liberties. I want to let you all know something, because I spoke the other day about how people were being disadvantaged and they were being obstructed from getting access to their residences and the land they live on. I want you all to know just like how there was a story in Alabama where a black community was disenfranchised and moved so that the rich could take over. The same thing happened here in Barbados. Not so long ago, there was a village in Barbados. It had a wonderful view. The people lived up on hills, and they would be able to, look down and see the view across the valleys and stuff. It was beautiful. What happened though was that they had to walk down from that hill, those hills, and go down to the road, which was kind of hard on people because it was a downward slope. And then when they get home, they'll have to walk back, trot right back up these hills to get home. And in order to get transportation, they would have to take a little walk, a 10, 15-minute walk. What happened is that some investors in real estate would have seen this and saw the beauty that these people had around them and told them, listen to me, we're going to relocate you guys so you can be near the transport. And they moved them from this beautiful view and brought them down so they can be near to transportation. And you know what they did? The rich people moved in. The rich people obviously have cars and stuff like that. They moved in and built some beautiful, luxurious houses up on this place. One person stood steadfast and didn't move. And the people put a lot of pressure on that person consistently, but that person didn't move. But I'm looking at how people were tricked. You understand? They didn't know the value of the property they were on. All right. Yes, people would say it isn't really a trick because they allow themselves to be moved, right? They're relocated for transportation purposes. But I'm letting you know that sometimes what you see is not really what it is here in Barbados. And we are seeing a lot of non-nationals coming in and having access to real estate that we as Barbadians should have first choice on. You understand? I'm seeing that where the whites and the Asians are coming in and taking over land. And when they want to sell that land, they don't sell it to blacks. They sell it to their own kind. But we do not unify. We don't stick together. We sell our property to these people. And we allow them to come and take advantage of homes that are derelict and come and take over and build their homes along with stores added on to them. Soon from now, you won't see them coming into Bridgetown on what used to be called Jew Street or Swan Street. You know, because they're building their stores onto their homes now. Because they're tired of renting. So that's what they're doing right now. They're building their homes and building them with stores onto them. We are seeing a lot of, and this is something I'm seeing a lot of guys who have vans being told they have to put C plates on them. Well, I'm seeing the Asians moving with whole stores in their van. Up to yesterday, I saw one. And not a C plate. Not a C plate. Keep saying it one over and over again. They're two Barbadoses. Anyway, everyone, this is enough for me for the morning. I've run over my time. I want you to keep your spirits up, keep your tempers down, and remember to do something good for somebody each and every day, all right? Have a wonderful Sunday to you and your loved ones and family and friends. And this is Winston Clark. I'm out.